Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone is doing well tonight, and I hope my voice is coming through good and clear. I got on my thumbnail, Dems are scrambling, but at least they have a board on. And I'm done being a classified information expert. This week I'm a trade and tariffs expert. Yeah, they don't know their old tropes and garbage is not working anymore. They're scrambling for a message. The successes we've seen and the pomp and circumstance that has the world in awe right now is a tough thing to counteract with a bunch of cheap talk. So anyway, while we're waiting for folks to come in, I will play a little video for everybody. While we wait for people to come in, what happened? My, there we go. Here we go. Enjoy the videos.
Corralled into this box where we either have to hate Vladimir Putin and believe everything evil that's said about him and love Ukraine, and there's no in between. And that reminds me a lot of you're either a white supremacist or you go with the Democrat narrative on everything under the sun.
The most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today, white supremacy.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
I mean, there's as much interference here as you could possibly imagine. Before you even get to Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, John Kerry, Mitt Romney, and all of their children who earn millions from Ukrainian gas companies. These days, it's hard to believe anything because they've lied about COVID, they lied about Russia collusion, they lied about the Ukraine impeachment trial, and there's so much more going on in Ukraine that nobody is talking about.
Does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
My job as a journalist is to try to understand what is the truth here. I don't like being lied to, and we're being lied to on an epic scale. When we're told your only choice is you have to be 100% with Zelensky. Slava Ukraina, who's a puppet who you can find on the internet in black stilettos and leather pants. Zelensky was selected, like so many of our leaders. And honestly, with big tech and with election fraud these days, we don't know how many leaders all around the world have been selected for us and weren't actually voted in.
How to build back better.
We have to build back better.
Build back better.
If Donald Trump gets the Republican nomination, there are many of us that will move heaven and earth to ensure he doesn't win.
We are fighting the same battles all over the world. To pretend that this war is about Russia and Ukraine is a barefaced lie. Putin has been warning for 15 years that he is not going to stand by while the globalists take over the world, build bioweapons facilities and whatever else they're doing in Ukraine. Ukraine has been a center of money laundering for many of the leaders in this country. Billions of US dollars have been laundered through Ukraine, and we say nothing about it. Does nobody question these things? We have an idiot like Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
Mr. Vindman.
Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, please.
Do you always insist on civilians calling you by your rank?
And sits there as a lieutenant colonel. He didn't even make colonel. And he's telling the president of the United States what his policy should be. You have a traitor in the form of Maria Yovanovitch, who was Obama's ambassador, who's telling Ukrainian government officials, don't listen to the will of the American people.
In his July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky, the president badmouthed Yovanovitch, calling her bad news.
I was shocked, absolutely shocked.
And then she's given a cushy job for life at Georgetown University, and we're told that the president of the United States cannot say to his foreign counterparts that we want you to look into something.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. And they put in place someone who was solid.
So much hypocrisy and dishonesty here, and Ukraine is at the center of it all.
Stronger and better than ever before. They're mostly gone. They're all coming back. This is why people in countries want to kill me. They're not happy with me. It's a risky business. This is why they want to kill me. They only kill consequential presidents, remember that. But this is why, if you're one of the countries that's affected, you're not happy with what I'm saying. When they used to say they like Barack Hussein Obama, of course they do, because he did nothing to help us. When they like Biden, who doesn't know he's alive.
Storm zone. Yes, sir. I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
Democrat open borders plan trench single-party rule, explained in under 2 minutes. 1. Flood the country with untold millions of illegals by land, sea, and air from all over the world, enough to eclipse the populations of 36 individual U.S. states so far. 2. Prioritize the needs of these millions of non-citizens over the needs of the American citizen, with free flights, buses, hotels, meals, and phones, ensuring their loyalty to the political party that imported them. 3. Keep them in the country at all costs, even when they commit violent crime like murder and rape. Attack the language used to describe the criminals, as opposed to the criminals themselves. Slander critics as racist. 4. Ensure their privileges are made irrevocable with city and state sanctuary laws that act as population magnets. Codify permanent status and ensure non-cooperation with ICE. 5. Count the non-citizens in the census that will determine congressional apportionment in the House of Representatives. As of now, that would equal 13 extra congressional districts, a tremendous amount of electoral power. 6. Wage a massive, heavily funded lawfare campaign to change state voting laws that legalize mass mail-in ballots, no signature verification, and no proof.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take.
Hi, folks. I'm glad you were able to join me tonight. Everyone, is something going on tonight, or I don't know. I've been busy setting up the studio. Hi, Robin. How are you doing? Kim, Common Sense. How you doing? Benjamin, Darla, Kathy, Sissy, Colette. Nice to see you. Wayne's giving me thumbs up. Everybody's giving me thumbs up, I hope. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down. Greg's here. KNS Cleanup. Thank you for going by. Buy me a coffee the other day. KNS Cleanup. Jackie. Wayne went there too. MS Motorsports. Nice to see you. Marie. So, what have we got to look at? What's going on? People are saying Israel's mad and Putin is not going to meet with Zelensky. Zelensky said, I'm not going to do a deal if Putin's not there. But then he said, I'm going to do a deal. Up and down and back and forth. Iran sitting there watching our president show up to the Middle East with a hero's welcome, a royal welcome. What do you think those mullahs would get if they came to Saudi Arabia? Okay? They wouldn't even get one camel. They wouldn't even get to follow behind and look at a camel's behind. But look at everything that Donald Trump was regaled with in two countries. Qatar, the second one, Saudi Arabia, the first. So I'm going to play videos of this historic time. Here's, I'll play them off and on. I want to talk about Kennedy at the these so-called congressional hearings and all kinds of stuff, and give you my analysis of what's going on. Is Israel and Donald Trump on the outs? I don't know. I think you'll find what I have to say interesting. But here's a nice little meeting with the Crown Prince, who actually came out to welcome Trump off the plane, something they do not do normally, a very rare appearance out on the tarmac. You heard that music in the background, YMCA. It's fun to stay at the Y. Well, I tell you, there was a message. There were a lot of messages sent, a lot of messages. And it doesn't get any plump or plainer. Let's see if I have it handy to pop on the screen. What was the message to Iran? Remember, they're Shia, and the Saudis are, what is it, Sunni. Okay, I'll get into that in a second.
But with that said, Iran can have a much brighter future, but will never allow America and its allies to be threatened with terrorism or nuclear attack. The choice is theirs to make. We really want them to be a successful country. We want them to be a wonderful, safe, great country. But they cannot have a nuclear weapon. This is an offer that will not last forever. The time is right now for them to choose. Right now, we don't have a lot of time to wait.
I could have put the time is now in my thumbnail, but time is running out. Time is running out. Hi, Todd. How you doing? Brush, how you doing? David, nice to see you. Ha, ha, ha. Who else made it in? All right. So anyway, Iran is the odd man out. Okay, here's this big historical event in Saudi Arabia, Trump's triumphant return. Multiple countries and ambassadors applauding his speeches. He's talking about peace. He's talking about putting an end one way or the other with the old savageries of the past in exchange for economic prosperity and peace in the region. And they are on the outside looking in. As a matter of fact, within hours of him giving that, I wouldn't call it an ultimatum, just giving them that notice, Iran sent word. Let me see if this is it. Yeah, I think this is it right here. Iran sent word. Top Iranian official says Tehran would forego highly enriched uranium in nuclear deal with Trump. Why is that? Why is that? Iran is ready to sign a nuclear deal with certain conditions, with President Donald Trump in exchange for lifting economic sanctions. A top advisor to the supreme leader, the one who heads up all the mullahs. The ones, if they had their way, would do away with Saudi Arabia, the House of Saud, does not fit in with the notions of the caliphate that they want to build. Ali Shamkhani, a top political, military, and nuclear advisor to Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, is one of the most senior Iranian officials to speak publicly on the ongoing discussions. Trump didn't even get off the stage after he made that statement. And they had their feelers out. Now, there's two ways to look at this. Let me see what... Hi, Wanda. Nice to see you. Colette. Nice to see you. Rebecca's here. Let's see. All right, MS. Hope you do well. Let's see. People can say, oh, Trump is on the outs with Israel. Israel's really mad. And they're going to go after the Gazans and this stuff and that stuff. That's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is Trump's not holding their leash. This way they're presenting it to the people is Trump's fed up with Netanyahu. He's not speaking to him anymore. In other words, he dropped the leash. And Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the Arab Emirates, Egypt, Turkey, Syria, and I'm sure Jordan, name it, all applauding when Trump was saying what he said. Basically giving the U.S. the green light to rid the region of the menace of a junta of mullahs with nuclear weapons. It ain't gonna happen. So, yeah. And Trump said Gaza was going to be cleaned out. And not in a horrible way. Not like they used to say, turn that place into a parking lot and all that kind of talk. A glass parking lot. Remember that kind of talk? No. He's talking about no more tunnels with a bunch of lunatics running around under hospitals and schools and nurseries and private homes, smuggling in missiles and thinking of how to get Israel and wipe it off the face of the map. No, they're going to be gone. Those tunnels will be filled in, probably flushed out with seawater real good, and then filled in. You look at what Trump was talking about in Saudi Arabia, how in 8 years they've transformed the country in so many ways. They can move mountains. He's walking away from this situation in the Middle East with almost $2 trillion. $1.2 trillion from Qatar. And another Air Force One. Well, people go, oh, they can say what they want about that. I've got reports here, like this, CNN putting this out. Like they know anything. Like they know their rear end from third base. Gifted luxury plane could cost hundreds of millions to convert. Do you think the DOD is stupid? You think the NSA is stupid? You think Trump's stupid? This stuff has been in the works. This isn't done overnight. Do you think they'd let him fly 1 mile without all the requisite security features that are needed? Without a comms and links to the Doomsday plane, to an alternate facility, to the White House, to the NSA? Everything he needs is at his fingertips at all times. And he's not going to get in a plane that isn't ready. But that was all the Air Force One Manhattan Project. That's what I call it. Air Force One Manhattan Project. Nobody knew about it. Because why? Because you can't trust anybody. Because you had people like Clapper and Brennan and on and on. Deep state people. This guy here sticking his nose in everybody's business. My legacy will be an America brought down to the level of the rest of the world. Barack Hussein Obama. Yeah, I had one guy get on me about that a while back. Somebody in the chats. Hey, why do you say his middle name? Why do I say his middle name? I didn't give it to him. That's his middle name. You want to talk about Ronald Wilson Reagan? Fine. You want to talk about Richard Milhouse Nixon? Fine. John Fitzgerald Kennedy? Fine. Barack Hussein Obama? Oh, don't say that. And you all know about the ring he's been wearing since college. Wearing it to this day. They tried to cover it up on Google, but you can look it up. Allah is the one true God. There's one true God. Allah is or something, a version of that. And I believe he's Shia. His leanings. Because he sure did give Iran a lot of money in the dark of night without Congress knowing about it, without anybody knowing about it. Forklifts picking up pallets of gold and cash, not traced back to anything. So that plane is ready to go. They say Trump's probably going to fly back on it. He wouldn't be doing that if it wasn't ready to go. So, and even if they got to, put some more upgrades up, I like this. People put these out about Time Magazine. I like this one. I should leave this up for a while. The only thing they did wrong, they left out his middle name. They left out his middle name. They're impotent, the Democrats. All of Hussein's shadow White House stunts is all coming to naught. People were on to him, especially the Saudis. Especially the Saudis. I took a freeze frame picture of his speeches. What do y'all notice about this picture? You got discerning eyes, right? Do you have autism in you? Are you an autist to any degree? Let me see what people think when they look at this picture. Am I overly analytic? I don't know. Hi, Lucky, how you doing? Benjamin said, hello to anyone I miss. I remember typing everybody's names. Hi, William, how you doing? Doc's here. Yeah, let's hope MS wins a bunch of money. Got that nitrous oxide bottle hidden away real good? I know you don't do that. I'm just teasing. Justin's here. Yeah, purple tie. Purple tie. That's one thing. That's one thing. Purple is a royal color. Okay? And they called the revolution that the deep and then state was doing in our country the purple color revolution. And I thought to myself, well, that is in honor of the old guard at Buckingham Palace and the 1,000-year kingdoms, principalities, which we've been subject to, except for that brief period until 1911 when they instituted a personal income tax, which meant dominion over you, everything you do, and you owe them a cut. That's when the royals came back into our daily lives. It's dripping outside. It's been raining cats and dogs. Flannel cheese, how you doing? I'm surprised y'all can hear it. Anyway, this is why I put in purple on my thumbnail the Keystone. Remember that, folks? Remember that saying, the Keystone? It would be in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, the House of Saud. Oh, you're going to be live on YouTube Saturday on Diamond Digital, folks. If you want to watch MS Motorsports tearing up the track. All right. So I put the Keystone in purple. And I think it's not only a symbol of royalty, but Trump's wearing a tie. I think it's symbolic that he won. Okay? This battle of the color revolution. We won that battle. That's what that tie is saying. Because it's supposed to be reserved for royalty, right? He's wearing it. King Trump is wearing it. And Jeffrey E., very, very early in the game, it was disclosed that he had a whole set of documents, passport, citizenship papers, driver's license, ID, from guess where? Saudi Arabia. And remember, when Trump first came to office, there was another crown prince, okay, that ended up hanging by his heels. We used to watch him. He was on Face the Nation or ABC with his, at his stable with all his fancy Arabian horses, giving an interview. He ran City Card. Remember Citgo Oil? No, Citgo Oil is Venezuelan. City Card, CITI. And he turned out to be a bad player. And he got knocked off his pedestal. And we're dealing with the young man we're dealing with right now. Hi, Whiskey, how you doing? And that was also the time that that so-called journalist, they call him a journalist. I won't get into that, but he was offed in a embassy far, far away. And we were supposed to go to war over that. Remember that, folks? Well, we didn't go to war, and we ain't going to go to war. Somebody wasn't even a permanent resident in the U.S., an expatriate Saudi citizen that was suggesting how to overthrow the government. So anyway, so let me put this picture up. What does anybody notice? Diamond State Digital, yeah, Saturday, what time? Mountain time, Eastern Standard, Pacific? Mars time? See if anybody gets it. Because who was I talking about earlier? I'm not going to give too many hints. I am not going to give too many hints. Must be something big going on. Usually people are running to the channel to hear big news when stuff like this is going on. 10 Eastern. AM or PM, Motorsports. I'm trying to plug you. I'm trying to plug your channel. I'm looking, is there any more Bushnell subscribed? All right. Yeah, like, share, and subscribe. I'm looking to see if there's any more guesses about what anybody notices in the picture on the screen. And since we're doing plugs, I got to buy me a coffee. Link in the description if anybody wants to help an old man out. And I appreciate Mike and Bev for going by and leaving me a real nice message and flattering me on how much I know about things. I wish I could remember everything, but I can't. But that was a very nice message, and I'll try to keep digging things out of my dusty memory to apply to what we're dealing with now on a days, as they used to say, now on a days. And I want to thank Shannon. This is this week's contributors. We're ending the second week. K&S cleanup. I appreciate it so much. So, well, I will go ahead and, yeah, I see Purple Tie Royalty. Well, don't just look at Mr. T. Do you remember Barack Hussein Obama's campaign? Remember that symbol he used? Doesn't that look familiar? Except it's been changed. It's been turned sideways. And it doesn't have that blue color in the middle. And the nitwit's name. I don't know what the symbolism is there, but I know one thing. The Saudis don't care for Obama. The Saudis know Obama gave Iran barrels of money, forklifts full of gold, and created ISIS, right? That's financing these Houthis and Yemeni bombing of Saudi Arabia. That's been going on for years. Remember his campaign? It looked like a Pepsi symbol. I'm not getting any feedback. But I tell you what, I think in some way, this is giving the middle finger, along with the purple tie, to Barack Hussein Obama and the rest of the miscreants and malcontents that are being swept out of the picture. And who knows? Like I said, I thought if there would be any big actions or arrests, it would be when Donald Trump is engaged overseas. And it doesn't get much bigger than what's happening now. The entire Middle East. I think we're looking at the roster of people who have or will be signing the Abraham Accords for peace. Iran was sent a message, if you don't get on board and play ball, you will be overthrown. We've already shown you how our bunker busters can go down 25 stories. All right, we already showed you how with Suleiman, or whatever his name was, all that was left was a finger with a ring on it. So, yeah. And then, if you'll recall, I believe Joe Biden's last stimulus package that went to the people was $1 trillion. People got $650 or something like that. And then a lot of it went to other goofball programs and PPP loans. People were mad. Where's that 2,000? Well, just from Qatar, Trump is walking away with $1.2 trillion investment in the United States. $600 billion from Saudi Arabia. And I'll give you another guess. I'll tell you another guess I'm making. Trump gave his warning to Iran. Everybody in the Middle East governments were applauding. Iran calls up. We want to work some out. Saudi Arabia pledges $600 billion. Trump's sitting next to the crown prince and said, well, I'd like to see it go to $1 trillion from $600 billion. And he kind of makes a face like, I don't know about that. Trump goes to Qatar, gets $1.2 billion, twice as much as Saudi Arabia. The phone has already rung. They're not going to get shown up by Qatar. He'll probably get $1.2 trillion from the Saudis. Knowing the Saudis, they'll say, we'll give you 1.5. Tennessee, how you doing? Pappy Two Bears, how you doing? Angela, nice to see you. So that's what I see as some of the dynamics. Here's Trump on Air Force One getting a fighter jet escort from the Qatari Air Force. Rolling in. Here, let's see. Here's some here he is. Pomp and circumstance. A show of respect. What did Biden get? He got a fist bump. His biggest foreign policy visit, he lost his bowels in front of the Pope. He stunk out a royal wedding party. Remember that? And he was persona non grata at Buckingham Palace after that. But anyway, here's Trump with the Crown Prince. Sword dance. Another sword dance. That's, I'm sure everybody that was in that lineup swinging a sword around singing was a high-ranking family member or tribal leader. They're all pledging their allegiance to Donald J. Trump. That's what the sword dance means. Oh, yeah, Sadie's here. She's asleep. She knows right when I go live, she goes, curls up and gets her shut-eye. And right when I'm done, she comes around the corner with her eyes all full of sleep and goofy looking and wanting her nighttime treats. Hi, Miss Mendersu. How are you? Ha, nice to see you. So anyway, no fist bump for Mr. T. He gets a man's handshake and he gets a sword dance. Here is another message for Mr. T. You know, I tell you, that symbol there, you know, it means something. It's a message to the baddies.
Among others, and friends of mine, people that I have a lot of respect for in the Middle East, I will be ordering the cessation of sanctions against Syria in order to give them a chance at greatness.
So believe me, there are hundreds of millions of people breathing a sigh of relief and grateful for Donald Trump to be coming to the Middle East and forging the peace that he's forging and the economic opportunity. You know, say what you want with Syria. Okay, it is what it is. You have thousands of years of hostility. What are you going to do? Go to war till everybody's gone? That's what you call an endless war. You have to find a balance. You have to find something. Goldilocks, how you doing? Nice to see you. So here's Trump disembarking from his plane. Very rare for the Crown Prince to come out personally. Look at them purple steps. So, yeah, historic little event there. And we have, let's see. We have this part of his speech that pretty much puts things in a nutshell. I thought to myself, this would be a good part of a speech to play at the end. But really listen to what he's saying. He's saying the old ways are over with. You better get on board or you're going to be left behind or worse. At least that's what Iran heard.
The transformations have been unbelievably remarkable. Before our eyes, a new generation of leaders is transcending the ancient conflicts of tired divisions of the past and forging a future where the Middle East is defined by commerce, not chaos, where it exports technology, not terrorism, and where people of different nations, religions, and creeds are building cities together, not bombing each other out of existence. We don't want that. And it's crucial for the wider world to note this great transformation has not come from Western interventionists or flying people in beautiful planes giving you lectures on how to live and how to govern your own affairs. No, the gleaming marvels of Riyadh and Abu Dhabi were not created by the so-called nation builders, neocons, or liberal nonprofits like those who spent trillions and trillions of dollars failing to develop Kabul, Baghdad, so many other cities. Instead, the birth of a modern Middle East has been brought by the people of the region themselves, the people that are right here, the people that have lived here all their lives, developing your own sovereign countries, pursuing your own unique visions and charting your own destinies in your own way. It's really incredible what you've done. In the end, the so-called nation builders wrecked far more nations than they built, and the interventionists were intervening in complex societies that they did not even understand themselves. They told you how to do it, but they had no idea how to do it themselves. Peace, prosperity, and progress ultimately came not from a radical rejection of your heritage, but rather from embracing your national traditions and embracing that same heritage that you love so dearly.
Yeah. He's telling the liberals and the neocons you're a bunch of idiots who cause more trouble than you're worth. You think you know what you're doing. Like I used to say, you take a gallon of arrogance, a gallon of stupidity, you pour it in a bucket and stir it up and take it out and dump it in the grass, and a bureaucrat pops up out of the ground demanding a raise. So anyway, Trump's letting the old world order know the big club that's made up of evil, wealthy people that get their nincompoops, malcontents, and miscreants to be their enforcers. Your days are over. Your days are over. So, I have here we go. Here's Mr. T on that long purple carpet being welcomed. Let's see if this one of them's got camels and we got Arabian horses. I don't know which one this is. Yeah, I wanted to mention that I wanted y'all to think back at when Biden was there and this same band was playing the national anthem, and it sounded like somebody using a bunch of kazoos. Remember that, folks? It was all out of tune, all out of whack. It sounded almost comical, and I believe that was on purpose. I believe that was on purpose. Here we go. Here's the Arabian horses escorting the beast with Mr. T. Yeah, so the whole Middle East is entranced entranced with what's going on. You know, everybody loves their country to be respected, and they love pomp and circumstance, and they love the notion of prosperity and unity. Now, I don't know what what is going on here. I just grabbed this clip, but you got Mr. T. He went to Qatar the same day. Could you imagine Biden flying all the way around to the other side of the world and being able to speak for almost an hour? It was 50 minutes, roughly. 50 minutes. Did you see him losing his train of thought or sputtering or anything like that? Let's see. I think this is him arriving at the palace. No, he's leaving. Are those bagpipes in the background? Bagpipes? Sounds like bagpipes to me. They thought of everything. If they had bagpipes playing, they thought of everything. His Scottish heritage. They're honoring his Scottish heritage. Is that what you all heard? Yeah. Miss Mindersu said it sounded like that to her. Hi, Darla. How you doing? Roland, nice to see you. Tennessee's here. Ha ha. Yeah, he earned the respect. Daggone right. And you know what? While he is here, he's talking about Zelensky and Putin. He's letting them know that his schedule is full for tomorrow when they're supposed to meet. Zelensky is supposed to be sitting there drumming his fingers on his knee waiting for Putin. And he said that he would not meet with anyone but Putin. He didn't want Trump around because he knows what Trump will do. So Putin said, well, if you're not serious about peace, it doesn't sound like you are, I'm not coming. So what's he going to do? He's sitting in Turkey. Marco Rubio's en route or there. And we'll see which way the ball bounces. But here's Trump, his thoughts on the meeting that's supposed to be held tomorrow.
On Thursday, if President Putin doesn't show up in Turkey for the talks with Ukraine, what will you do?
Well, I don't know if he's showing up. I know he would like me to be there. And that's a possibility. If we could end the war, I'd be thinking about that. Now, tomorrow, we're all booked out. You understand that? We're all set.
But you movie goes?
UAE tomorrow. And so we have a very full situation. Now, that doesn't mean I wouldn't do it to save a lot of lives and come back. But, yeah, I think they're thinking about something. I don't know that he would be there if I'm not there. We're going to find out. Marco's going. And Marco's been very effective.
So I think the way the cards are going to fall is Trump will probably go Friday. And if Trump goes, Putin will go. But Putin is looking at it this way. He's not going to have Zelensky dictating terms about a meeting, that he doesn't want Trump there. First of all, his position is pretty firm that Zelensky has been a hanger-on, canceled the elections, and for better part of a year is illegitimate anyway. And he doesn't want to go there to have Zelensky put on some song and dance or try to humiliate him or in any way dictate the terms. And if Zelensky's serious, he'll hang around till Friday when Trump shows up and Putin. And he's terrified of that. He's terrified of it. But I believe that's the way it's going to play out. Trump is not going to drop what he's doing right now. This stuff's been planned out for a long time. So, here we go. Dan Scavino put this up. A flashback to 8 years ago, May 2017, when Trump last visited Saudi Arabia. So whatever's been going on with this Biden scam, puppet man, auto pen Biden, I'm sure the Saudis have been kept apprised of what's going on. Here we have Trump making, what they're signing an agreement there. Let me see if he says anything or if the translator is saying something.
Now we will see the signing of the agreement of buying aircraft from Boeing. His Excellency Badr bin Abdul Amir will sign from the Qatari side, and Kelly Ortberg will be signing on behalf of Boeing.
And the United States of America. Boeing purchase agreement signed on behalf of the state of Qatar by His Excellency Badr Mohammed Al Mir, CEO of Qatar Airways Company, and behalf of the United States, Kelly Ortberg, President and CEO of the Boeing Company.
Boeing better get their head and their rear end wired right. They're getting this big deal. They better not screw it up. Their name will be mud. No more DEI, no more doors popping off in mid-flight. His hand's probably shaking like a leaf. That's what I'm talking about with this plane. This plane that's being gifted. It was built by Boeing. You don't think that ahead of time, top secret, it was told what it's going to be for? Here's elusive truths. They pop up on my feed sometimes. Qatar gives a plane to replace Air Force One? Hilarious. No way in hell would I board that. Well, they're just not using logic. Look at that thing. It's gigantic. Gigantic. Why wouldn't you get on it? I mean, do they really think the DOD is that stupid? Here's an interior picture. Want to go up to the second or third or fourth floor? How many they got? Here's a conference room. Ronald Reagan didn't even get to fly on the new Air Force One. That came in months after he left office. He got to go on it with George Bush, but not as president. And I may be mistaken, but I believe Air Force One that Ronald Reagan used was the same one that Kennedy used. That shows you how little focus they have on keeping up with the times. And I believe that's on purpose. George Bush got a brand new Air Force One that Trump is flying around in now to this day. And Reagan was flying around the same one Kennedy had. There's the lounge, the salon. If it were a boat, that's what you'd call it, a salon. So yeah, that stuff is has all been gone over. All been gone over. I saw somebody put this quote up and I had to get it. Because I remember reading about de Tocqueville, Alex de Tocqueville, when he visited America. He couldn't believe it. The industry, the vibrations, the electric in the air, the feeling of what was going on in America was like nothing else in the world. And he came up with this one of many conclusions. The American republic will endure until the day Congress discovers that it can bribe the public with the public's money. How prophetic is that? They can bribe members of the public with other members of the public's money. All they got to do is bring in enough to overwhelm them. Whoa, why's my screen frozen? Oh, there we go. There we go. That led me to this. Sarah Connor, watching you use your AI for everything. That'd be a good one to put a screenshot and put it on your Meta. So, I got a bunch of screenshots of these malcontents that are being paid by God knows who to put up garbage about Trump. I don't think I'll put them up. If you have anyone that's subscribed to The Atlantic or The New Republic, you need to tell them they need to see a psychiatrist or you're not going to be their friend anymore. For your own good, okay? This is the cover they put out about Trump. An endless drumbeat. Here he's going around doing peace deals, doing trade deals, bringing in trillions of dollars, lowering the costs of pharmaceuticals. We've been financing Marxist healthcare systems in other countries for decades and decades. Your parents, my parents, you and me, we're getting up, going to work to make people like Starmer and Macron and all of them look down their nose at us. You should have socialized medicine. Well, we've been paying for yours. But they paint Trump out the way you see it. Just repugnant trash. And that's what most people are seeing. Repugnant trash with their arguments. Like the South African refugees. All 58 people. They better give him a raise. He has to sit there and listen to this kind of garbage. I think even most CNN viewers got puked out listening to this ninny.
And part of that is that the people who are native to that land deserve their rightful land back. That is not what the Afrikaners actually want to have happen, which are the white Africans, and so who are not originally from Africa, who colonized South Africa also. And so that is what they are saying is discrimination. Now, if the Constitution in South Africa is discriminatory, they have their checks and balances in that land just like we do. And that is for them to, so if the Afrikaners don't actually like the land, they can leave that country.
They are. They're leaving to come here.
No. They can
These refugees are coming here.
They can actually leave and go to where their native land is, which is probably Germany.
Are you against them coming here?
Holland, probably.
She's got more nerve than bum tooth. Talk about racist. Boy, and you know, if I was sitting there, I'd say, okay, let's go. My mom's from Germany. My dad's from Ireland. I'll go. Where you got to go, woman? Pack your bags, too. Let's both go. Where are you going? I'll play that if I had that video where that woman was saying, I'm sick of the scorpions. I'm sick of the spiders. I'm sick of having no snacks. It's horrible here. I want to go back to America. Remember that? But no, she wants to run everybody else off. Here's a video. One side of the screen, the Democrats love. The other side, they can't stand. Guess which side? Yeah, the Democrats have lost their damn minds. They've just turned into a bunch of babbling idiots. Speaking of babbling idiots, look at this one. She lets it slip that she's a dance instructor. Who would want their kids around this thing? But all the wondrous stuff we're watching, all the hope, all the anticipation and excitement over a new age dawning. And then you got this.
All right, guys, we're about 6 weeks in. Who's going to do it? Who's going to take one for the team and do it? And I'm not going to say what it is, because I know that you know that I know what we're all thinking. Who's going to do it? It can't be me. I'm a dance teacher. I got things to do. But somebody's got to do it. Someone's got to take one for the team. Because we're 6 weeks in. I can't do 4 more years of this guy.
Are you out of your damn mind? You lunatic. Like I said, this is somebody that interacts with children. Interacts with children. Oh, I got some more videos of, that wasn't it for Trump. The pomp and ceremony and all that. Where is the one where he went to dinner? I think this is it. Might be it. I hate these black screen ones. Let me see. what this is. Oh, Midas Trash Network put up a video because they're desperately trying to find something to criticize Trump about on this trip. You know, they've had such a bad week, bad 100 days. They put up, where is it? They put up something about Trump is saluting the Saudis. Oh, I might not have had that in the studio. I just got to show you this because it's just so desperate. Desperate trash nonsense. And Midas Trash Network, remember, Mark Garagos is behind that. Here it is. Here's just 2 videos. They pump them out. They pump these videos out every hour or 2. They're pumping out a new video. This one. They hate him. Trump ridiculed by veterans for humiliating event. When did you ever see that? When did Midas Trash Network, 690,000 views. But this one here. Saluting the Saudis? Trump has disaster AM as trip quickly goes wrong. Well, that was where top military from many countries were meeting him and walking up to him individually and saluting him. And he was standing there. They were honoring him as military men. And Trump is the commander-in-chief. And you treat militaries with respect. And they showed him respect. They lined up, stepped up to him one at a time, saluted him. He saluted them back, and they didn't drop their salute till he dropped his. But this is the kind of guy. And then you have nitwits in the comments going, oh, he's saluting the Saudis. What do you want to do? Just have a constant war? A world being blown up? Anyway, here's Trump. He's saluting all right. Yes, I played the whole thing. I don't like interrupting our national anthem. And like I say, if I ever trip across where they were playing it for Joe Biden, just remember these 2 versions we just heard tonight compared to the way they were playing it, almost like a clown show for Biden. Did I play this video yet? I think, oh, this is the camels. Whoa, wait a minute. Yeah, one was, I think this is the camels. Let me see. I don't know. Another sword dance. Boy, isn't that a beautiful area? And you know what? If this was happening with a demon rat president, a demon rat, it would be being shown live on every network. It'd be being shown like Princess Di's wedding. Remember that? Every channel you turned to back when you took the knob and pop, 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 turned the dial on television. Everything was Princess Di's wedding. But none of them are showing it. None of them are showing it. And I see I got some sad... Thank you all for sticking with me. I see I got some sad sacks. Hi, Jess and Bean. How you doing? Andrew, nice to see you. That, I guess, didn't want to listen to their national anthem and left. That's all right. Goodbye. Anyway, here's what Democrats are doing. They're making fun of Trump. I didn't get a screenshot of it. Midas Trash Network had a picture of Trump with his eyes closed, sitting in a chair and saying he fell asleep, which he never did. You know, he might have closed his eyes for a second or two while he was listening to a translator. But here's the demon rats while Trump is shaking up the entire world. That's Debbie Dingle. And some other guy fell asleep. I didn't get a shot of him, though. But that's all they got is like with this. Here's where Trump went to. It's nighttime over there. He was probably up to close to 24 hours. He went to a state dinner at Qatar. And here's how they took him to dinner. It's pomp, circumstance, it's spectacle, it's historic, and nobody's covering it. But, like I say, I got a bunch of people drop off. I guess they want to hear a bunch of crap like Phil Got a Loose Screw puts out, or Charlie Ward, or name it. All these, I won't say the SH word, I'll say poopsters that want clicks. I'm going to put out history the way I see it and everything that we've discussed about how this operation to reclaim our republic has gone the way I considered it to be, which was that we were going to have to educate ourselves about our system and stand up. Because they'll put a shoe print on your face if you don't stand up for yourself. Look at this garbage. I usually like playing Harry Enton's polls. I didn't even watch this. I can just look at this thumbnail. The politics are so extremely bad, it blows my mind. Who got to you, Harry Enton? Oppose major spending cuts to Medicaid. They're babbling that Trump is going to cut Medicaid. They had some woman in a wheelchair. He wants to kill me. And no, we're cutting it from the budget because we're getting rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
oh, we don't have enough for all the waste, fraud, and abuse. Don't cut the budget. We've got money to waste, defraud, and abuse. But they say all adults, 76%. They ask the question wrong. Ask the question, do you support cutting waste, fraud, and abuse from Medicaid? That's the way you answer the question or ask it. But they're professionals and people delude themselves. Speaking of that, I'll put you this. This is up just as an aside. Daily Mail, female, put this up. Joanna Riley. I'm 50 and still get asked for ID at supermarkets. It's so flattering. The guy who posted this said, who's your cashier, Ray Charles? No, I think he said Stevie Wonder. Deluding themselves. Her lips are like a plunger. But no, people think they're going to live forever. All they worry about is themselves, their looks, how much personal stimulation or joy they can get out of their lives with no thoughts for others. Archaeologists are going to find some tufts of hair and a bunch of plastic inside a box with some bones. Go, what the hell is this? What were they doing back then? Here. Why am I not shocked? Trans hairstylist guilty of pandemic loan fraud. Wake up, America. Hey, man, you got to pay for all that product somehow. Here we go. Girl heartbroken after losing to trans runner. I wonder what state this is in.
This girl's reaction went viral after she lost to a biological male at a high school track meet. 17-year-old Lila Connor was beaten by Soren Starchesa, who identifies as female. Just 18 months ago, Soren was competing in the boys division, ranked only 172nd. Now, the athlete is racing against girls and is ranked 4th in the state. The athlete's father works at a gender care clinic, while the mother works at Bates College, focusing on topics such as white supremacy and reparations. Under current Maine rules, no medical transition is required. A school just needs to say the athlete identifies as female. Parents and students across the state are speaking out, but Maine officials are doubling down, even as the Trump administration sues the state for refusing to ban males from girls' sports.
We have a governor who thinks that gender ideology is more important than the safety of these young women, than fairness in sports for these young women.
Girls are losing races, scholarships, and opportunities, and in moments like this one, we can see exactly what that means.
Yeah, we get voter ID, we get proof of citizenship, and these people are going to be finished. They'll be out of there. Oh, and like that lady I just put up, the 50-year-old that gets carded like she's under 18. There's an old saying, but it used to be, when it was used, it was almost exclusively for men, the old saying. And the old saying is that there's no fool like an old fool. And that was because how many times you see older men getting snookered or deluding themselves, messing around with dopey young chicks, and they die lonely, very old men. But now you're seeing it go the other way. Now here is a father speaking up at a school board. And I decided to play the whole thing because it needs to be heard. And you hear how concerned these school board members are, you know, telling him to hurry up and all this kind of stuff. But he gets it in at the end what needs to be done.
Father of a third grader at Las Estrellas Elementary. Miss Director, I had emailed you. I had emailed the principal, the assistant principal, and the school social worker. My son, 2 weeks ago, was exposed to a group of, let's say, gay men having sex on the iPad. And how my son came about it was he forgot his laptop at home, and your teacher lent my son his personal iPad. Well, when my son was doing a project with some of the other kids in the classroom, all of a sudden they closed out a tab. There was a bunch of naked men sitting right there in front of my son. And then all the other kids that had seen this, hey, they were shocked. But what's crazy is that I haven't heard nothing since. I didn't get a response from our superintendent. I had a meeting with your guys' assistant superintendent, your guys' assistant principal, but nobody had the decency to make my son important enough to show up to that meeting in the morning to tell me why he was able to be exposed to this type of material. Now, I've heard about the situation that happened at your guys' high school, at North High School, with the teacher that was involved with sexually explicit material as well. To me, I don't care what team you bat for, but you guys gotta quit putting all this stuff in front of these kids, all this sexual material, regardless if it's a flag or if it's them actually seeing the content on an electronic device that is in school. Now, I came to you guys last time arguing about security factors with the students about how they were roaming around. Now, dude, you guys literally I was told that you guys weren't gonna inform the other parents in this classroom. Like, you guys will tell us if a student gets lice, if a student gets COVID, if he gets the flu, but you guys will not tell all the parents in the classroom that their kids were exposed to sexual explicit material. And I think that's weird. It's weird because how can you send out a text message about all these other things, but you can't tell parents that their kids were exposed to this? Now, my son, one of 6 kids.
Please finish your comment.
My son, one of 6 kids, was the only one to speak up about this and the only one to make it known. So now I ask y'all, what are y'all planning to do about this? How are y'all gonna protect these children and hide this material from them? Because it's everywhere in this world right now, especially here. You guys gotta protect these kids. And if y'all, as parents, students, and everything,
for your time, sir.
If you guys want to see a difference, start looking at their paychecks. Y'all want change? Look at their paychecks. That's how you guys.
Thank you for your comment.
I thought he was very polite. And as I've said in the past, if my dad was put in that situation, somebody would be picking up their teeth with a broken arm. And he was very, buddy, he said, take a look at their paychecks. Yeah, hi, darling, it's so wrong to do that to your child, right? Exactly right. So, anyway, listen to this Bernie's scandals, or Sanders, or whatever his name is. Oligarchy. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. That's a term they started in Russia years ago. We've never used that term. Mostly robber barons. But here he is trying to put Robert Kennedy in a trick box. And Kennedy handles himself very well. How many billionaires you know get tips in overtime? We're trying to cut back on tips. No tax on tips.
All right, we talk about austerity, doing more with less, but in that very same bill that is being worked on in the House right now, there are $235 billion in tax breaks for the top 0.2%. Do you think that makes sense when that same bill would throw 13 million people off of Medicaid? Should we give tax breaks to billionaires and throw kids and others off of Medicaid?
You're conflating the congressional bills with the proposals from the president. The president
No, I'm talking
is
about
not
the
making
congressional bill. I'm talking about the bill, the reconciliation bill.
I mean, the president is not trying to do tax cuts for billionaires. He's trying to have no tax on tips and no tax for
$235 billion by
how
the
many
estate
people,
tax.
how many billionaires do you know that are making overtime or making any part of the
$235 billion. Look, it's a big bill. There are a lot of provisions in it.
Yeah, the 8 million they're going to take off of Medicaid, that's the ones who need to get back over the other side of the border. That shouldn't be even be here in the first place. And Bernie Sanders sat there through this thing for decades, watching our money get stolen from us. Okay? Didn't say a word when the auto pen president, whoever that was allowing tens of millions of people to come in this country and put a burden on our Social Security system, our Medicare, Medicaid system, our food stamps, welfare, school systems. And he's got the nerve to sit there and talk like that to Robert Kennedy. It's absolutely disgusting. And you know that teacher who brought that garbage to school? He belongs in jail. I don't care. Oh, I made a mistake. You brought pornographic material to a school where children are. You belong in jail. And they constantly cover up for themselves. Just like I'm saying about Bernie. He'd have to be Ray Charles. He'd have to be Stevie Wonder not to have been seeing the trillions of dollars we've been getting stolen from us. But he still demands more and tries to point fingers at billionaires and oligarchs. But anyway, Ben and Jerry, the guy named Ben in the Ben and Jerry's, you'll hear him at the end of this stupid jump up protest in the middle of somebody. Here's Robert Kennedy saying, I'm honored to be here. Here's the things I wanted to. He's busy. He's running a department that's a complete circus. He's trying to get it under control. We're talking about our children's health. And watch how much time gets wasted with these. And what's this guy Ben from Ben and Jerry's? You think he's a pauper? He's got plenty of money, but he's up here disrupting.
Thank you, Chairman Cassidy and Senator Sanders. I'm honored to be before you today to present the Department of Health and Human Services fiscal year 20. Debilitating disease, contaminated food, toxic.
See the two guys behind him? See the badges on their lapels? Are they Secret Service or U.S. Marshals? The two guys on either side of them. And you'll see a third one jump up. I call him Big Boy. Big Boy jumps up. But, yeah, I think they're either Secret Service or U.S. Marshals.
Environments, addiction, and mental illness affect Americans across every race, class, and political belief. When my team and I took the helm at HHS, we set out with clear goals. First, we aim to make America healthy again with a special focus on the chronic disease epidemic. Second, we committed to delivering more efficient, responsive, and effective service to over 100 million Americans who rely on Medicare, Medicaid, and other programs. Third, we focus on achieving these goals while cutting costs for taxpayers. We intend to do more, a lot more, with less. The budget I'm presenting today supports these goals and reflects.
The witness will suspend. The committee will come to order. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individuals from the hearing room. Members of the audience are reminded disruptions will not be tolerated.
Congress pays for bombs to kill people in Gaza.
Members of the audience are reminded disruptions will not be permitted while the committee conducts its business. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individuals from the hearing room.
Congress kills.
That was a made for C-SPAN moment. The Secretary will resume.
The budget.
Just a second, Mr. Secretary. Mr. Secretary, let's get the doors closed and the ruckus just to totally clear. Got it. Okay, and we thank the Capitol Police for working with due diligence. Thank you very much. Mr. Secretary, please resume.
The budget I'm
presenting. Mr. Secretary, will you reset the clock? The clock's been running.
Here you are on national television, preparing your words, and you got to sit here and wait for this kind of crap to end. And did you notice those? I think you're right. I think you're right, Wanda. They are U.S. Marshals. They didn't leave his back. They had him flanked. Could you imagine if something horrible happened to Robert Kennedy after what happened to his father, what happened to his uncle? So he's got at least 3 of them there, and they didn't leave his back. I mean, they stayed right there. So this is the kind of garbage the Democrats, and as far as that ice cream idiot, Ben from Ben and Jerry's, whatever the maximum penalty and fine is for disrupting a hearing like that, he was running his jaws at the end and had to be thrown out. He should have to pay the maximum fine, and if it calls for jail time, a week, a month, or 2 weeks, or whatever, he needs to do it. Yeah, he jumped. I'd have jumped too. So here's the another part of the hearing. Sitting here arguing with these idiots, and he's got his 2 marshals behind him. This is before the blow up.
We've also proposed a methodology for regulating and for determining what is dangerous gain of function and what is legitimate scientific investigation, and how to bring the public into that debate, which I think, as you point out, is absolutely critical. That is where we messed up last time. And as you know, we have some of the Democrats here who are, talking about the great science from NIH, but now we have a major agency, intelligence agency, the CIA, the FBI, the DOE, and the State Department have all agreed that NIH research almost certainly led to the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. So that's not the kind of the result that we should be allowing or enabling, and we're going to end that.
Did you hear what he said? This was after the blow up. Did you all catch what he said? He said the research at NIH, National Institute of Health, led directly to the pandemic, right? He said they're going to put a stop to it. Don't hear him talk about that in the news, but they need to be. Here's another clip of a brain surgeon Democrat running his jaws, and Bobby Kennedy's got to set him straight.
in my district, which is a rural district, want to work with you on those goals. What can we do to promote this with young children, healthy lunches, all sorts of areas where local communities can partner with you in this effort?
We are about to reissue the dietary guidelines, and we're going to do it very quickly. We have until January, but we're going to do it. I think we'll have it done even before August. And we took the Biden guidelines, which were 453 pages long and were clearly written by industry, that are incomprehensible, driven by the same industry capture and those kind of carnal impulses that put Fruit Loops at the top of the food pyramid.
This is a different hearing, but it's a good one.
Dietary guidelines that tell people essentially eat whole food, eat the food that's good for you. That's going to drive changes in the school lunch programs. And we're going to need your help to make sure we can get good school lunches to Head Start. I've been touring these Head Start facilities. Everything they eat is in a package, and it is just loaded with sugar and with chemicals. We're poisoning this generation, 800,000 kids, the poorest kids in our country, and we're starting them out with this count against them, with, diabetes, pre-diabetes. 38% of our youth now are diabetic or pre-diabetic. That was 0 when I was a kid. Anybody thinks that we did gold standard medicine in this country from these institutions, look at our children. They're the sickest children in the world. Laura, you say that excuse me, Congressman DeLauro, you say that you've worked for 20 years on getting food dye out. Give me credit. I got it out in 100 days. I'll give you that credit. All right, so let's work together and do something that we all believe in, which is have healthy kids in our country, for God's sake.
Ms.
Do
Dean.
that together. There's no such thing as Republican children or Democratic children. There's just kids, and we should all be concerned with them.
That's right. He was talking to that woman that's got the psychedelic glasses and the purple hair, Congresswoman DeLauro. So, yeah, here's Jimmy Kimmel. Is this morning schmo he's talking to? Look at that. I said navy blue went with any pants. I said tan pants, black pants, blue pants, navy blue. But I don't know what the hell he's wearing with his little ballerina slippers or whatever they are. But this is Jimmy Kimmel.
I'm an optimistic person. I'm not hysterical. I laugh when people say, oh, you've got Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah. If you're a reasonable person, you should have Trump derangement syndrome. Right. And by the way, I think he has derangement syndrome about us, too. The fact of the matter is, this is a dangerous person. This is a stupid person. And that's a bad combination.
Yeah, like you're a genius. What all they have left is name calling and babble. Bernie babble and commie name calling. That's all they got. So I want to leave you all with this nice person here. And I want to put her up so you can still read what Trump's going to do to them all. He's going to beat them as small as the dust of the earth, stamp them as the mire of the street, and spread them abroad. But anyway, this time to hear a message from someone sane and nice, but she gets the point across. If you get a chance to clip this part of the video and send it to a friend. And I want to thank you all for spending your precious time with me, as always. And I will try to go live tomorrow night. If you're not subscribed, please do like Bruce Schiller and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I go live. So hopefully, I have a lot of things to do tomorrow. So hopefully I will see you soon, tomorrow. Have a great night. Enjoy this clip. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
You guys with this Trump derangement syndrome, you gotta chill out, man.
Like, there's nothing that that man can do that you will ever give him credit for. Ever. He's going to lower prescription costs. Wouldn't that be a great thing? Oh, no. We're mad now because there's going to be a supply chain problem because there's affordable prescriptions and now we're going to run out of them. So we're mad. He gets China to agree on the tariffs, chilling out on the tariffs. Shouldn't we be happy? Nope. That's not good enough. Not good enough. He wants to send out the MS-13 gang members. Dangerous criminals. He wants to get rid of them. We're not happy with that. What? This is common sense. This is normal things that we would want done in a country to have a safe, well-operating country, right? Your hate for him is so bad that you would rather see a country just in shambles, complete shambles, with the most evil stuff going on. You would rather see that than just admit it a little bit, just a little bit. You don't have to like the man. You don't have to like his character. You don't have to like any of that. But just admit that the man is a good businessman. He knows what he's doing when it comes to business transactions, which may be something that we need for once, because the politicians are not doing a great job at running the country. So just maybe, let's have an open mind here, that a businessman who knows how to make things work could do a great job at making a country work. Let's just try to remain open-minded here. Please, cut out the derangement syndrome.